The large meeting hall of Proxima Station hummed with the voices of 100 different species. Lights from the nearby star shone through the massive windows, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Ambassador Taewon Kim of Earth stood, tall despite being shorter than most aliens around him. His black formal suit stood out among the colorful robes and natural body coverings of the other beings. "Stay close, Jiwoo," he said to his 8-year-old daughter. The small girl nodded, her round eyes wide with wonder as she looked at all the strange creatures. She wore a simple blue dress with small white shoes. Her black hair was tied neatly with a ribbon that matched her dress. "Yes, father," she said, holding his hand tightly. This was the annual summit of the Intergalactic Council, the ruling body of the known galaxy. For 40 years, humans had only been allowed to watch and listen as observers. Today, Ambassador Kim hoped to change that. "Earth has met all your requirements," Kim said to the council members seated in a half-circle before him. "We ask for full membership rights as is fair and just." High Arbiter Ulzar, a tall blue-skinned being with 4 arms, leaned forward. His voice was deep and echoed in the chamber. "The council recognizes Earth's progress," Ulzar said slowly, "but some members have concerns." From the side of the room, Councillor Drav stood up. The Viridian had green scales that shimmered in the light. His yellow eyes narrowed as he pointed at Kim. "Humans hide things," Drav hissed. "Our spies report secret activity in your system, deep space signals, hidden bases on your moon." The room grew loud with worried whispers. Kim felt his face grow hot. "These are lies," he said firmly. "Earth has hidden nothing. We have followed every rule." "Then you will not mind if we search your system more closely?" Drav asked with a smile that showed sharp teeth. Kim felt Jiwoo's hand slip from his as he stepped forward to argue. The debate grew heated. Other council members joined in, some supporting Earth, others against it. No one noticed the small human girl walk away, curious about a glowing door at the side of the chamber. Jiwoo had never seen so many strange beings in one place. Her father had been teaching her about the different alien races for months to prepare her for this trip. She was the first human child ever allowed on Proxima Station. It was supposed to show the council that humans trusted them. The glowing door had strange symbols that changed colors. Jiwoo reached out to touch one that looked like a butterfly. To her surprise, the door slid open. Inside was a room filled with beautiful objects that floated in the air without support. "Wow," she whispered, stepping inside. The objects spun slowly, giving off soft light. Some looked like jewels, others like small machines. Jiwoo didn't know she had just entered the most restricted area on the station, the Hall of Extinct Civilizations, where the council kept powerful artifacts from long-dead races. An alarm suddenly blared. Red lights flashed. The door sealed shut behind her. Jiwoo felt scared now. "Father?" she called, backing away from the door. A panel in the wall opened, and a large being rushed in. It was covered in hard plates like armor, with multiple glowing eyes. This was Rex, the council's chief of security. "Intruder in the restricted zone," Rex announced into a device on his arm. "Containment protocol active." Jiwoo held up her hands. "I'm sorry, I got lost. My father is Ambassador Kim." But Rex did not wait to listen. The security chief had dealt with many threats to the council. The standard protocol was clear. Any unauthorized presence in the artifact chamber must be eliminated immediately. The artifacts were too dangerous to risk any tampering. Rex raised a weapon. "Wait!" Jiwoo cried. There was a flash of blue light. In the main chamber, the argument stopped as the alarm sounded. Ambassador Kim looked around in panic. "Jiwoo?" he called. "Jiwoo!" The emergency screens activated, showing security footage. The ambassador watched in horror as his daughter entered the restricted room. He saw Rex enter. He saw the flash of light. "No!" Kim screamed, running toward the side door. Council guards blocked his path. "That's my daughter. Let me through." High Arbiter Ulzar raised his 4 arms for quiet. The room fell silent except for Kim's heavy breathing. "An unfortunate incident has occurred," Ulzar announced. "A human child entered the Hall of Extinct Civilizations. Security protocols were followed. "She's just a child," Kim shouted, struggling against the guards. "She didn't know." Counselor Drav made a sound like a laugh. "Even your young are spies." She went straight to our most sensitive area. Admiral Sun-hee Park, the head of Earth's small escort fleet, rushed to Kim's side. Her uniform was crisp and dark blue with silver stars on the shoulders. "What happened to the girl?" she demanded. Rex entered the main chamber, weapon still in hand. "The threat has been neutralized," he reported coldly. Kim fell to his knees. "You killed her?" "You killed my daughter." The room erupted in chaos. Some council members protested the action, others defended it. High Arbiter Ulzar banged a glowing staff on the floor 3 times, creating thunderous booms. "Order," he commanded. "The security protocols are absolute. They have been in place for 1,000 years. Kim rose slowly to his feet, his face now calm but his eyes burning with grief and rage. "I request the return of my daughter's body," he said, his voice breaking. Admiral Park helped steady him. She whispered something in his ear and he nodded slightly. Ulzar considered the request. "It will be granted. The Council regrets this necessity, but our laws are clear. The incident is deemed regrettable but lawful." Kim looked around the room at the alien faces. Some showed shock, some showed pity, some, like Drav, showed satisfaction. "Very well," Kim said quietly. "Then know this. Earth hereby invokes the Prometheus contingency." The humans in the room gasped. The aliens looked confused. "What is this Prometheus contingency?" Ulzar asked. We'll find out," Kim replied. "Earth withdraws from all agreements with the Intergalactic Council. We recall all our people from Council space. You have made a terrible mistake today." Drav laughed again. "Threats from a minor world with barely any ships? Your entire fleet could be destroyed by a single Council cruiser." Admiral Park stepped forward, her face hard as stone. "Is that what you think?" she asked softly. Kim turned to leave. "Prepare my ship and contact Earth. Tell them Code Black. Tell them a child is fallen." As the human delegation left the chamber, Counselor Drav turned to Ulzar. "They will sulk for a while and then return. Humans are weak." Ulzar wasn't so sure. He had studied human history when they first contacted the Council. "I hope you are right," he said. "For all our sakes." Unknown to the Council, deep in Earth's oceans, beneath its mountains, hidden in its moon, and scattered throughout the solar system, ancient weapons were beginning to wake up. For centuries, humanity had prepared in secret, building an armada, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, and now they had a reason to use it. The news of Jiwoo's death reached Earth within hours. Screens across the planet showed the small body of Ambassador Kim's daughter, wrapped in a simple white cloth as it was carried down the ramp of the returning ship. Kim's face was stone-like, showing no emotion as he walked behind the honor guard that carried his child. President Han of the United Earth government met him at the landing pad. The tall woman bowed deeply to the ambassador, then placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "The Council will pay for this," she said simply. Kim nodded once. "Is it time?" "Yes," said President Han. The vote was unanimous. All nations agreed. For the first time since leaving Proxima Station, Kim showed emotion. A single tear ran down his cheek. "Jiwoo would not have wanted war," he said quietly. "What happens next is not your burden," President Han replied. "Go home, old friend. Bury your daughter. We will handle the rest." As Kim was led away, President Han turned to Admiral Sun-hee Park, who had just descended from the ship. The Admiral's uniform was now adorned with additional medals and insignia that had not been there during the Council meeting. "Admiral," said President Han, "activate the Prometheus contingency." Admiral Park saluted sharply. "With pleasure, Madam President." Within the hour, across all human colonies and outposts, the recall order went out. Every human in Council space was to return home immediately. Strange ships that had never been seen before appeared to collect them, moving at speeds that should have been impossible according to what the Council knew of human technology. In her command center, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Park watched as reports came in from across the galaxy. Her second-in-command, Captain Min-jae Choi, stood at attention beside her. "All diplomatic staff have been recovered," Captain Choi reported. "Our deep cover agents have been given the signal to prepare." "And the fleet status?" asked Admiral Park. Captain Choi smiled slightly. "All ships reporting ready, Admiral. The Atlantic Division, Pacific Division, and Lunar Forces are at full battle readiness. The Mars Defense Group reports their weapon systems are online for the first time in 50 years. And the Jupiter dreadnoughts? All 7 have emerged from the gas giant's atmosphere as planned. They are hungry for action, Admiral." Park nodded with satisfaction. For over 200 years, Earth had maintained the fiction of being a minor power with limited military capability. In truth, after their first encounters with alien scouts, long before official first contact, humans had prepared for the worst. "Open channel to all commands," Park ordered. A communications officer pressed several buttons and a green light indicated the channel was open. "This is Admiral Park. The Prometheus contingency is now in effect. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. First target, Proxima Station. The Council will learn that humanity is not to be trifled with." In another part of the command center, Colonel Hannah Lee prepared her Special Forces unit, known as the Ghost Division. They were the best soldiers Earth had to offer, trained in every form of combat and infiltration. "Our mission is clear," she told the assembled troops. "We will board Proxima Station and capture 3 targets alive: Security Chief Rex, Counselor Drav, and High Arbiter Olzar. They will face Earth's justice for the murder of an innocent child." A soldier raised his hand. "What about the Council's defenses? They're supposed to be impenetrable." Colonel Lee smiled coldly. "That's where Do-hyun comes in." Intelligence Officer Do-hyun Kang stepped forward. He was shorter than the others but had sharp eyes that missed nothing. "For the past 40 years, Do-hyun explained, we have placed deep cover agents throughout Council space. Some are humans with altered appearances. Others are aliens who sympathize with us. They have supplied us with security codes, defense plans, and the locations of every important Council member." He tapped a screen, showing a complete map of Proxima Station with all security measures clearly marked. "When we attack," Do-hyun continued, "our agents will disable these key systems. The Council will be blind and defenseless." Meanwhile, in the Council chamber on Proxima Station, an emergency meeting was underway. Reports of human ships suddenly appearing and disappearing across Council space had caused alarm. "They are simply retrieving their people," Counselor Drav said dismissively. "Let them hide on their little world. When they get hungry enough, they will come crawling back." An ancient being named General Elder Ru, who rarely spoke at Council meetings, slowly stood up. His species was one of the oldest in the galaxy, and his wrinkled gray skin showed his great age. "I warned you all when the humans first made contact," Elder Ru said in a raspy voice. "There was something strange about how quickly they advanced, how carefully they studied our weapons while showing none of their own." "What are you suggesting?" asked High Arbiter Olzar. "I am suggesting," Elder Ru replied, "that we have made a terrible mistake. The humans have been hiding their true strength, and now we have given them a reason to use it." "Nonsense," Drav hissed. "Their ships are primitive. Their weapons are basic. Our scans have confirmed this for decades. Unless," Elder Ru said quietly, "they wanted us to think that." A junior officer rushed into the chamber, interrupting the debate. "High Arbiter, urgent message from Earth." "Display it," Olzar ordered. The large screen in the center of the chamber lit up, showing President Han. Her face was calm, but her eyes were hard. "Intergalactic Council," she said, "you have committed an act of war against Earth by killing one of our children. We demand the immediate surrender of Security Chief Rex, Counselor Drav, and High Arbiter Ulzar to face justice for this crime. You have 48 hours to comply." The Council members looked at each other in disbelief. Such a demand was unprecedented. "And if we refuse?" Ulzar asked. "Then we will come and take them," President Han replied simply. And we will show you why Earth has been feared throughout the galaxy's history. The screen went dark. Nervous laughter spread through the chamber. Feared? Drav said. No one fears humans. They barely have faster-than-light travel. Elder Ru closed his eyes. You fools, he whispered. You have no idea what you've done. As the council debated, deep within the structure of Proxima Station, a human operative who had lived as a maintenance worker for 15 years received a coded message. She made her way to a central power junction and placed a small device on the main conduit. Similar scenes played out across council space as dormant agents activated. In Earth's command center, Admiral Park stood before a large holographic display showing the positions of Earth's hidden armada. Thousands of ships were moving into position, using secret jump points unknown to the Council. All forces report ready, Admiral, Captain Choi announced. And our quantum gate network? Park asked. All gates are operational. We can deploy anywhere in Council space instantly. Admiral Park nodded and glanced at the countdown timer. Less than 24 hours remained in the ultimatum. Send a message to all commands, she ordered. The Council has killed one of our children. We will show them why that was the last mistake they will ever make. Across the solar system, Earth's hidden might prepared for war. The 48-hour deadline passed. On Proxima Station, the Council had decided to ignore Earth's demands. They increased security and called in additional warships, but otherwise took no action. Most Council members were sure humans were bluffing. Our long-range scanners show no unusual activity in Earth's system, reported a technician to High Arbiter Ulzar. Their ships remain in orbit around their homeworld. As I predicted, Councillor Drav said smugly. They make threats they cannot keep. At that exact moment, across Council space, thousands of hidden devices activated simultaneously. Defense systems, communication networks, and power grids suddenly failed on dozens of worlds and stations. On Proxima Station, the lights flickered and went out. Emergency systems tried to activate, but failed. In the darkness of the Council chamber, confusion spread quickly. What is happening? Demanded Ulzar. Unknown, High Arbiter, a security officer replied. We've lost contact with our defense fleet. Outside the large windows of the chamber, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive ships appeared out of nowhere, surrounding the station. They were unlike any human vessels the Council had seen before. Dark and sleek, they moved with impossible speed and precision. In the lead ship named Righteous Fury, Captain Min Jae Choi sat in the command chair. His face was calm as he gave orders. All ships in position, he reported to Admiral Park, who was coordinating the attack from Earth. The station's defenses are down. Our agents did their work well. Begin Phase 1, Admiral Park ordered from her command center. Colonel Lee, your team is clear to proceed. Inside Proxima Station, 20 maintenance workers who had served there for years suddenly removed hidden weapons and equipment. They were members of Colonel Lee's Ghost Division, who had been placed years ago, waiting for this day. They moved quickly through the dark corridors, heading for key targets. Colonel Hana Lee herself led the team heading for the Council chamber. She was small but moved like a shadow, taking down alien guards with silent efficiency. Team Alpha has secured the power core, reported a voice in her ear. Team Beta has control of the docking bays. Good, Lee replied softly. Team Delta, status on target Rex? Security Chief Rex is contained, came the reply. He tried to resist. He's unconscious but alive. Remember, Lee reminded her teams, the targets are to be taken alive. They must face justice. In orbit around the station, Earth ships easily disabled the surprised Council defense fleet. The Council ships were advanced, but Earth's vessels used technologies that shocked the alien defenders. Energy shields that could not be penetrated. Weapons that seemed to ignore distance and time. Drives that allowed them to appear and disappear, at will. Young pilot Jihoon Yoon led a squadron of small, fast ships against the Council's main communications hub. Stay in formation, he instructed his pilots. Target only the communication arrays. We want to isolate them, not destroy them. His ships fired precision beams that cut through the hub's defenses like they weren't there. Within minutes, the HFY Council was cut off from the rest of its territory. Inside the council chamber, the emergency lights finally came on, casting an eerie red glow. Council members huddled together in fear as the doors slid open. Colonel Lee walked in with her team, weapons ready but not firing. By order of Earth Command, she announced clearly, this station is now under human control. Councillor Drav leapt forward, his claws extended. Primitive animals, he snarled. You dare! Lee sidestepped easily and touched a small device to Drav's neck. He collapsed instantly. Councillor Drav, you are under arrest for your role in the death of Jiwoo Kim, she said calmly. High Arbiter Ulzar stood slowly, his 4 arms raised in surrender. How is this possible, he asked. Your technology. It should be centuries beyond your development. We've had this technology for a very long time, Lee replied. We just chose not to show it to you. As the council members were secured, Captain Choi's voice came through Lee's communicator. Colonel, we're receiving reports from across council space. All primary targets have been secured. Minimal resistance, minimal casualties. Understood, Lee replied. And Ambassador Kim? His ship will dock within the hour. Throughout the galaxy, the story repeated itself. Earth's hidden armada appeared simultaneously at all major council installations. The secret agents who had been placed years before disabled defenses from within. The Council's military, believed to be the strongest in the galaxy, found itself unable to respond as command centers went dark and ships lost power. Council Secretary Vex, one of the few moderate voices who had argued for taking Earth's ultimatum seriously, watched the events unfold from a monitoring center deep within the station. They could have destroyed us completely, Vex observed to a colleague. But they are only targeting military and leadership. No civilian centers have been attacked. Why would they show restraint? The colleague asked. After what happened to the child? Perhaps, Vex said thoughtfully. They are better than us. Hours later, Ambassador Taewon Kim walked into the council chamber. The room was silent as he passed the rows of seated council members, now under guard by human soldiers. He stopped before High Arbiter Ulzar and Security Chief Rex, who had been brought in conscious but restrained. You killed my daughter, Kim said simply. It was protocol, Rex replied without emotion. The chamber was restricted. She was 8 years old, Kim said. His voice remained calm, but his eyes burned. She could not read your warnings. She was just curious. Ambassador, Ulzar said carefully, surely we can discuss reparations. The council acknowledges a tragic mistake was made. Kim looked around, the room slowly. For 40 years you treated humans as lesser beings. You denied us full membership. You mocked our technology and our culture. You called us primitive. He paused. And then you killed our child. What will you do with us? Ulzar asked, fear clear in his voice. Before Kim could answer, the doors opened again. A woman in a formal black suit entered. This was Yunha Bayek, Earth's newly appointed wartime ambassador. The terms of surrender are simple, Beck announced. The council as it exists now is dissolved. Those directly responsible for the death of Jiwoo Kim will face trial under Earth's laws. All council races will acknowledge Earth's authority in matters of galactic security. A murmur of shock ran through the chamber. And if we refuse? A council member called out. Ambassador Bayek's expression didn't change. Look outside. The large windows now showed hundreds of Earth's warships surrounding the station. Beyond them, strange devices were creating what looked like tiers in space itself. Earth's quantum gates allowing instant reinforcement from anywhere in the galaxy. We've spent centuries preparing for this moment, Bayek said. We hoped it would never come. But you gave us no choice when you killed our child. As the council members absorbed this new reality, Admiral Park's voice came through the station's communication system. It was broadcast not just to Proxima Station, but to every world and outpost in council space. This is Admiral Sun Hee Park of Earth Command. As of this moment, the galaxy is under new management. 3 days after the Earth forces took control of Proxima Station, the tribunal began. The Great Council chamber had been rearranged. In the center was a simple raised platform where once the council's high table had stood. 3 chairs sat on this platform, occupied by Security Chief Rex, Counselor Drav, and High Arbiter Ulzar. Representatives from every council species filled the chamber. Earth had requested their presence not as prisoners, but as witnesses. Captain Minjae Choi stood, at attention near the entrance with a guard of honor. Colonel Hana Lee's teams maintained security throughout the station, their weapons visible but not raised. Admiral Sun-hee Park entered first, her uniform now bearing the insignia of Supreme Commander of Earth Forces. She was followed by President Han, and then, walking slowly and alone, Ambassador Taewon Kim. A hush fell over the chamber as Kim took his place at a small table facing the 3 accused. His face showed no emotion, but everyone present knew his grief drove this moment. "This tribunal is now in session," announced Admiral Park. "The accused are charged with the unlawful killing of Jiwoo Kim, a human child, age 8 years. Drav hissed angrily, his scales rippling with rage. "We do not recognize your authority to judge us." "You did not recognize our authority at all," Kim replied quietly. "That was your mistake." High Arbiter Ulzar spoke carefully. "Ambassador Kim, we acknowledge your loss and your pain, but the security protocols have been in place for 1,000 years. Rex followed established procedure." "A procedure that permits killing children without warning?" Kim asked. "The Hall of Artifacts contains items of extreme danger," Rex stated flatly. "Age is irrelevant to the threat they pose if mishandled." Kim looked at each of the accused in turn. "Before I determine your fate, I believe it is time for some truth." He nodded to Admiral Park, who activated a large display screen. It showed ancient star maps and historical records. "Long before our official first contact with your council," Kim explained, "Earth was visited by others. Some came as explorers. Some came looking for resources. Some came to test our defenses." The screen showed images of strange craft recovered from ocean depths and mountain caves. Some dated back thousands of years. "Humans have always been curious and cautious," Kim continued. "We studied these visitors. We learned from their technology. When we were finally ready to reach the stars ourselves, we made a decision." President Han stepped forward. "We would show only a fraction of our true capabilities. We would observe and learn how your council treated lesser species before revealing our full strength." Murmurs spread through the watching aliens. Elder Ru nodded, slowly, his ancient eyes showing no surprise. "For 40 years we watched," Kim said. "We saw how you treated the newer species that sought council membership. We saw the unfair trade agreements, the military protection that was really control. We built our hidden armada," Admiral Park added. "We placed our agents. We prepared for the day when we might need to defend ourselves. We hoped that day would never come." Kim's voice hardened. "Then you killed my daughter. An innocent child whose only crime was curiosity." Counselor Drav laughed bitterly. "So now you will kill us? Show the galaxy your revenge?" The door at the back of the chamber opened. A woman entered, her steps slow but determined. She wore a simple black dress similar to the one Jiwoo had worn. This was Jia Kim, Taewon's wife and Jiwoo's mother. She walked to stand beside her husband. Her face showed the marks of grief, but her voice was strong when she spoke. "No," Jia Kim said, clearly. "That is not what our daughter would have wanted." She placed a hand on her husband's shoulder. "Taewon, remember what Jiwoo said when she first learned about the council? About why she wanted to come with you?" For the first time since the tribunal began, Ambassador Kim's face softened. "She said she wanted to make friends with all the aliens. She said maybe they were just scared of us because they didn't know us yet." Jia nodded. "Our daughter believed in understanding, not fear. In friendship, not domination." Ambassador Kim stood silent for a long moment. The entire chamber waited. He looked at the 3 accused, then at the representatives of all the council species watching. "This is my judgment," he said finally. "You will live." Surprise rippled through the chamber. Drav's mouth opened in shock. "But," Kim continued, "the old council is dissolved. In its place, we will create a new galactic assembly where all species have equal voice and equal protection under law. He looked directly at Rex. The first new law will state that no child of any species may be harmed for any reason under any protocol. This law will be named for my daughter. The accused will serve by helping to build what they tried to deny us, President Han added. They will work alongside humans to create a better system of galactic governance. Elder Ru stood slowly from his seat among the witnesses. If I may, Ambassador Kim? Kim nodded. I am older than most here, Ru said, his voice thin but clear. I warned the council about humans long ago. My species encountered yours in ancient times before you had even left your own world. He pointed a gnarled finger at the screen still showing historical records. There, that ship. It was mine 5,000 years ago. We tested humans then and found them fierce but fair. I told the council to treat Earth with respect, but they would not listen. Ru bowed deeply to Kim. You have shown today why humans are worthy of leadership. You could have destroyed us all. Instead, you offer a new beginning. As the tribunal concluded, Council Secretary Vex approached Ambassador Bayek. We expected annihilation, Vex admitted. Why did Earth choose mercy? Beck watched as Sergeant Hyun-Woo Shin, one of Colonel Lee's soldiers, helped a small alien child who had been brought by one of the representatives. The soldier smiled and carefully lifted the child to see better. Because, Beck replied, revenge would not have honored Ji-Woo's memory, and in the end, this was all about a child. 1 month later, the new Galactic Assembly convened for the first time. At the center of the redesigned chamber stood a small statue of a human girl in a simple dress. The plaque beneath it read, Ji-Woo Kim, who taught the galaxy that the measure of civilization is how it treats its children. Ambassador Kim stood before the assembled representatives of over 200 species. Earth's ships still patrolled space, but now they were joined by vessels from other worlds working together. Today marks a new beginning, Kim said. Earth did not unleash its armada to conquer, but to protect. Now that we have your attention, let us build something better together. In the grand observation deck above the chamber, Admiral Park stood, with Captain Choi and Colonel Lee. Do you think it will last? Choi asked quietly. Park looked out at the stars visible through the massive windows. It will if we help it to, she replied. Humans have always been good at building things. Now we get to help build a better galaxy. Colonel Lee smiled slightly. For Ji-Woo, she said. The others nodded. For Ji-Woo, they agreed. And throughout the galaxy, word spread of how the death of one human child had changed everything, and how Earth's response had not been destruction, but creation. The species that had been feared became the species most respected, not for their weapons, but for their wisdom. The guardians of the innocent, they were called now, and the ancient armada remained ready, not to conquer but to protect all the galaxy's children.